Laura is a mermaid obsessed with the human world. Laura is a princess forced to find true love or doom her civilization to ruin. Laura is a child who likes to bite the heads off of small fish. And Laura is our protagonist for what might end up being the sweetest, most visually stunning love story of this season. Sayonara, Lara. Goodbye Laura is a gorgeously made original anime by Kinema Citrus for its 15th anniversary production. It's an homage to Hans Christian Andersen's classic The Little Mermaid, and like The Little Mermaid, Lara longs for the human world against her father's wishes, saves a human prince, falls head over fins for him, and with the help of a witch, ventures out into the human world to find true love and save her kingdom. And she fails. The prince does not love her. He sees her as a monster. And Laura, heartbroken, dies. Her kingdom falls to calamity, her family disappears, and all is lost. Goodbye Laura is not The Little Mermaid. It's something else entirely. True love in this story is something else entirely. And because of that, hope is not completely lost. With the power of the witch that helped ruin her life, Laura defies prophecy for a second chance, no longer in a land of princes, but in the modern town of Shiga, and straight into the arms, or should I say fists, of Mari. Goodbye Laura is beautiful. From the first episode, from the first OP, it's clear that Lara has taken so much inspiration from the classic romance animes. Its cel-shading style, the actual cel-shaded portion of the OP, the beautiful song sung by the music group Aikamonogakari. I apologize for butchering that. There's so many tropes that you can see in this opening alone that it would take way too long for me to point them all out, but it's so clearly lovingly crafted that I don't mind them. And the director of each episode of Goodbye Laura has been doing an amazing job. Takushi Kiyodi and Harumasa Sato and Ayaka Tsuji so far have made each episode their own, and it's all so incredibly visually appealing. The cel shading of Lara and Mari and the other characters is so well executed, and the backgrounds of everywhere they go are so meticulously detailed you'd be forgiven for thinking this was a movie. And the animation is silky smooth. Episode 1 has such a captivating sequence involving water and the moon, and even episode 3 there's this boxing match that's just so pleasant to watch. The visual style of Goodbye Laura is just simply a treat, and I kinda wish more anime were animated like this. And the music, my god, the music. If you have a second, you should pause this and go check out the official soundtrack of Goodbye Laura, after watching the anime too. Because the music is so perfect. The vocal tracks, the soft piano, the guitar. There's particularly 2 tracks I adore in episode 1 and 2, and that second one is kinda heavenly. You'll know when you hear it. Trust me. But production alone would not make me like an anime this much or even warrant a video for it. So instead, let's talk about... Goodbye Laura is a love story. In more ways than one. Its plot at the moment is reasonably straightforward. Laura is a princess in a long line of princesses, and in this instance, rather than the rest of her sisters, she controls the fate of the kingdom. The prophecy goes that she must find true love to keep her kingdom from ruin, like her mother before her. That light of true love inside her heart will be what gives light to her castle and everyone in it. However, there are ripples in the waves. Ripples in the form of Grace, Lara's aunt and the woman who gave Lara her first taste of the human world, pushing her to throw caution to the wind to dire results. Grace both seems to have her own reasons for pushing Laura down a perilous path, but unlike Ursula in The Little Mermaid, she doesn't seem to explicitly have some kind of ill intent on Lara. And after reuniting several hundred years later, she seems to have mellowed out a bit. A lot. Perhaps unwillingly, but still, I guess there's only so much you can do as a fish stuck in a fish tank all day. Another ripple is that, as I said earlier, Lara failed the first time to find true love. And if she fails again, then her family and her kingdom will never wake up from their sea bubble slumber. Why this prophecy exists, or what it has to do with the reincarnation, with this fish-like dagger that appears around Lara, that appears in the sky of Shiga that only she and a few others can see, what it has to do with her mother, who's busy haunting the narrative, we don't know yet. But we're only a few episodes in, so we have plenty of time to find out. Lara is a fish out of water. Get it? She's naive, she's sheltered, she's impulsive, and she's really sweet. And actually, really funny. How many romance protagonists have you seen chuck a discount Alexa out a window and then jump out of said window and tumble off the roof? You might have seen her archetype before, but what I really like about Lara's character is that she's really straightforward. You know what she's thinking, when she's thinking it, whether it's about love, what's bothering her, what problems are in her way, and she knows what she's thinking too, and she's not afraid to let other people know what she's thinking either, even if no one asked. And that's all in the face of the fact that Lara is terrified. Not long ago, she was rejected by the human she thought she loved. Not just rejected, but outright threatened, confirming what her dad and her older sisters have said all her life, that humans aren't to be trusted. And in her perception of time, mere seconds after that tragedy, she has to come to terms with the loss of everyone she's ever known, the guilt that she helped cause all of it, and now she must go back into the world that so violently rejected her and find true love once again. Of course she's scared. Of course she's uncertain. Of course she'd attach herself to the first kind voice that came her way. She's quick to blame, but how could she not? But she's also quick to apologize, quick to forgive, quick to learn, and quick to love. Even in the face of those who have scolded her, those who have tricked her, those who never loved her. And she needs to be, because Lara is on a time crunch. She has 12 episodes to find her true love, and there's no time for being coy. Lara is determined to find that love of hers, no matter the trials and tribulations, no matter her fears, no matter the world, she will find it. Speaking of love, this person is Mari. She's awesome. This is the hot-headed boxer who sees a mermaid flying at her from the sky and decides the best way to break her fall is to clock her right in the face. She's the young girl who made the Wicked Witch Grace her pet, or roommate as Grace might say, and agrees to keep the odd mermaid in her room. And she knows Lara is a mermaid. She saw her fins herself. A tomboy who's lost her mother and can't help but help Lara, no matter how much annoyance and grief she gives her. In only a few episodes, they've both seen each other at their lows and helped lift each other up. And I'm not scared of Mari. No, she's a good character so far. I like her brashness. I like that she still cares. No, what I'm scared about is... Goodbye Lara is crafty. In the anime subs, the prophecy is explicitly about Lara finding true love. At least in the Crunchyroll captions, it never specifies exactly what true love is. Not that it's a prince, not that Lara needs to marry this person, just that she needs to find true love. So naturally, Lara at first believes that this young prince that she rescues is the one who will be that true love. She's infatuated with him, and potentially the human world. Whether that's being conflated, we don't know. They spend a long time together, though Lara is unable to speak due to Grace's trials, preventing her from speaking the whole time so she doesn't say anything that might give away the fact that she is a mermaid. But in the end, it doesn't matter. In the end, her secret gets out, and the prince she thought was her true love draws a sword on her, glares at her in anger and horror, and yet there's a spark of light in Lara. That bump that only goes off when it seems an amount of true love appears within or around her. I don't know for certain what this means for the prince, but the prince is not the only one that this light appears for, and the prophecy does not specify that her true love must be a prince. On her first full day in the human world, Lara loses the one item she has connecting herself to her family, her royal ring. She gets lost around town, frightened and overwhelmed by almost everything. Almost everything. And at last she finds the spot that she lost her ring, but it's not there. She searches frantically, it's still not there. She wades into the water, desperate to find it. But her tail, it's not there. Her gills are not there, and she starts to drown. Until Mari, who had been following her all day to make sure she was okay, pulls her out of the water. They argue, Lara lashing out at Mari, which I like. It gives Lara a good sense of headspace. She is not simply fawning over every single person who helps her, and Mari calling her out for being selfish and breaking her things earlier. And they flee out of the rain to a rest stop on the side of the road. To my favorite scene so far in the anime, only a few episodes in. Soaking wet and emotionally drained, Lara just sits there in silence, and Mari stands there. But then, instead of simply waiting the silence out, she goes over to a vending machine and buys 2 hot chocolates. She tosses one to Lara, who clumsily misses it, still not used to her body above land. The chocolate rolls away, but Mari doesn't get upset or insults her or says anything. She just grabs the chocolate again, now dented at the top, and places it in Lara's hands, opens it for her, shows her slowly how to drink it, and Lara is happy. For a brief moment, it's quiet, and she's happy. She apologizes. They talk, with Lara now holding the first real gift we've seen her get from a human. One she goes on to cherish, a simple can. And Lara asks this girl, this violent girl, this girl who holds the witch as a pet, this girl who saved her life, what her name is. And she replies, Mari. Atsu Mari. And so the very first human name we hear Lara say is not the name of the prince who betrayed her true love, but instead the name of the schoolgirl who saved her, Mari. What a lovely name. There's also a very clear parallel between Lara saving the prince and Mari saving Lara from drowning, but that's a future discussion to be had. Now, I'm terrified what I'm about to say will end up being wrong, that I may jinx it, or maybe I'm naive. I don't know for certain, but what I do know is that the number of romance flags between Lara and Mari are too great to ignore. The first human she meets since waking up, the cross representing being close to God's love, and Mari wearing a cross necklace, Mari appearing seemingly randomly when the light in Lara's heart beats, the panning to Mari when Lara discusses finding true love, and something that happens at the end of episode 3 that's quite literally impossible to ignore. So the question is Goodbye Lara a story about marrying a prince, or are we going to get a beautiful subversion? A story of what true love truly is. Maybe love of family, love of friends, maybe a love that is someone that knows Lara and cares for her, regardless of who she is, regardless of convention, regardless of first impressions. Really, truly loves her. Because in my opinion, with everything they've set up, with the little moments between Lara and Mari, I think the biggest fumble this anime could do is fake out this blossoming relationship, this blossoming true love. But who knows? A lot can happen in a few episodes, and I'll be there for each of them, rooting for those two all the way. Quick side tangent. Episode 4 just released, and it seems more and more clear with the prince not in frame and with Lara going through everyday life and learning about how different people view love and how not everybody has to be a prince. Not every love has to be forever, and not every love has to be romantic. It's interesting to see her interpret these, and I like how Lara was so forward with her new friend in episode 4, pushing her to confess maturely, not because she believes her true friend has found that prince, but because she's worried that new friend will face the same regret she did when she didn't tell her prince that. Perhaps her reasoning is a little wrong, perhaps she's still holding on to hope for that prince, but I think that's a much more mature view than what Lara could have had at this point in the story. Love without regrets. Love a little less naive. And I hope the story keeps that up. Goodbye Lara is a bit fast. The story doesn't leave much time to breathe, and the tropes you'll see in the story aren't exactly subtle. But I actually don't mind that. If Lara can keep this pace and stick the landing, I do think it will be one of the more beautiful and no-nonsense romances we've had in a long time. One that will hopefully and quickly, proudly say that I love you, and carry its viewers at a brisk and satisfying pace. I really hope it does, because in just the few episodes I've seen, I really like these two. I really like this anime. It's gorgeous, it's fun, it's cinematic, and I hopefully can truly recommend it. Of course, there's always a chance that an original anime could peter out by the end, looking at you, Wonder Egg priority, but I'm gonna have hope. Hope that this will turn out better than I think. I look different, mayhaps, if you've watched my videos before. I have a new model, and I am still streaming on Twitch, and I'm still making videos slowly. I haven't had anything I've really wanted to do in a while, so you might see a 9-month hole from the last video to this one. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. It might, no promises, but I like making these short form videos. I've completed this in about 2 weeks, so it might be a little out of date compared to the most recent episode of Goodbye Lara, but I think I saw episode 5 and it didn't seem like it really there's some narrative beats in it, but I think the core of what this video is fairly aligns with what happened in that episode. So yeah, if you want more, feel free to comment. Comments always help videos. If you want to come watch me stream at some point, or if you like my model, and if you don't, then don't worry about it. You can just log off. That's okay. But hey, if you like playing games, if you like anime and stuff, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and maybe I'll see you next time. I don't know. Bye bye.